Hi, everyone. I'm Jay Patterson.
And I'm Gina Mirando.
We're from Integrated IT, a Microsoft cloud solution provider who has performed many cloud migrations to Microsoft Azure over the past decade. And we're here today to share a few frequently asked questions that we've had over the years during those transitions.
The first question I have for you today, Jay, which is our most commonly asked question, what are the pros and cons of moving to the cloud?
So the pros and cons can vary from client to client, but at its core, one of the biggest pros of the cloud is the elasticity, the ability to scale or contract very quickly, easily, without much pain at all. So if you're a seasonal business and in the summer you get very slow, you're able to scale servers back to low or no cost as you completely turn them off. If you're a business that needs to grow for certain periods of the year, the ability to add processing power or RAM with the click of a button is a very big benefit. As far as the pros of being on-prem, the biggest one is the latency. When you're on the same network as your server, access to the data is obviously very quick. When your data is in the cloud, getting to it is going over the internet. With Word documents as spreadsheets, it's not really a big deal, but if you're crunching data, you're doing analysis, you're using Tableau or some of these data analytics tools, the latency will be a problem for those.
What speed or performance concerns are associated to the cloud?
Certainly when you're doing data analytics, the latency does not lend itself well to having your data live in the cloud. There are ways around it using virtual desktop technology where the actual client side of your Windows machine and the data both live in the cloud, and you're merely accessing it through the internet connection. But most companies who have large sets of data to analyze are not moving those workloads to the cloud at all yet.
Are the monthly costs predictable or will they fluctuate?
They absolutely fluctuate. You can make them predictable based on knowing what your usage is going to be, but think of it like a utility bill at home. If the summer comes and you're using a lot more of your air conditioning, the bill typically goes up. Now you know that it's going to go up because you're getting some benefit out of that. Your house is cooler in the summer. But if you continue to use more processing power, continue to use more RAM, continue to use more storage, the prices will go up as a result, but that's usually an indication that the business is growing.
How about security? Is my data more secure in the cloud or on-premise?
I think you'll always have people arguing both sides of this coin. My position is that Microsoft has a heck of a lot of money to invest in their security footprint than most small business owners or even mid to large business owners. So the data is going to be more secure, in my opinion, as it sits in the cloud. The, the weakest link of the chain is always going to be the end users. So having extra tools and securities in place to help protect the end users is most important. And Microsoft has many of these features available through their cloud services.
What if my business has compliance requirements such as HIPAA or ITAR?
Great question, and more common is just about every business has some kind of compliance framework they have to adhere to. Things like HIPAA for the medical industry, your tenant with Microsoft is pretty much ready out of the box. As long as you have your HIPAA compliance program in place, any data you put there is not going to be at risk. For ITAR or other DoD downstream requirements, they have a separate dedicated government-based tenant. And as long as you apply and get approved that you have clients that do require this, you'll get approved, and there's no additional cost to being on that government tenant either, but it will ensure that your data never leaves the continental United States and all of the other parameters that are required.
Thank you for answering all those questions, Jay. We are out of time for today, but if anybody has any other additional questions that we weren't able to address in this segment, you may always reach us at info@integratedit.com.